Today we're talking about one of the most important pieces of gear that you can possibly choose before you head out on the road to go travel, and that's your motherfucking backpack. Your bag, your luggage, whatever you're going to take. I'm going to hit you with a little backstory on what I've learned and what I do. So I started off my one bag travel not as a one bagger. It was a one bag travel trip, but I had no fucking clue what I was doing. I had a big ass, like 80-liter leather duffel bag. The thing weighed like 12 pounds, 6 kilograms or something like that, with nothing in it. And then you pack it full of stuff. It's an impossible thing to have to fucking lug around. You don't want to have a big, heavy fucking leather bag that you're dragging around, that has no backpack straps, that you're fucking lugging through airports and trying to fit into small, cramped little spaces. They're giving you a bunch of shit because it's too big for a carry-on. It's not where you want to be at. So from there, I went through a few different trials and tribulations of different bag styles and different bag sizes, and what I've landed on is a 35-liter Air Travel Pack 3. There's a lot of different backpacks out there, but one thing you want to keep in mind is that when you get out here traveling, if you go in spot to spot, there's a difference between a carry-on and a personal item, and a lot of these smaller airlines only allow personal item size, and there's a huge difference in cost. Some airlines are charging $150 to have a carry-on size bag. So I make sure that I pack my bag so that it'll fit in the personal item size checker at the airport, and I don't fuck around with multiple bags or large bags. It does take a little bit of planning, foresight, understanding what it is you're actually going to use and what you're not going to use before you pack up and get out on the road. But your bag is ultimately extremely important. If you don't have enough padding in the shoulders, it's not going to work out well for you over time as you travel further and further. If you don't have the right compartment structure, if you don't have the things that you need in the right places, you can have a bigger bag that's less efficient, and you can have a smaller bag that's more efficient, entirely depending on the stuff you have going into the bag you have. So I personally recommend a 35-liter bag or smaller. For a long time on my one bag excursion, I was with a 24-liter Jack Wolfskin bag. The 24-liter was actually big enough for everything I needed, but what I've found is that my 35-liter will compress down to about the same size as my 24-liter, but in a pinch, I can fit a lot more in it, and it gives me a lot more flexibility for how I put the things inside of it because there is more room. Also, the 24-liter pack packed to the seams ends up structurally unable to be moved around, where that 35-liter bag leaves a little bit of room in there so that when I need to fit my stuff down in that checker, that metal thing they got at the airport to make sure it's personal item sized, having that 35-liter bag with 24 liters worth of stuff in it allows stuff to move around inside that bag as I'm getting it down into that size checker. So I've found that the 35-liter pack is sort of the sweet spot. The 40-liter packs, most of them are going to be too big to fit in your personal item spot, and anything lower than 30 liters, you're going to end up packing it to the seams, and it's going to become this dense little ball. And even though it should fit in the checker, there's times where my 24-liter pack barely fit in the personal item checker because I just had it, exploding at the seams. I had it packed so full. So how do you get down to a 24 to 35-liter pack? What do you put in the pack? We're going to talk more about that as the YouTube videos roll on. But for me, it's, 4 to 5 shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, 2 pairs of pants, maybe 6 pairs of socks, 6 pairs of underwear. And then I have one of those carry-on toiletry, see-through, TSA approved. They're about this big. They're a little toiletry bag. I have, my essentials in there. I got a toothbrush. I carry a laptop. I got a couple other odds and ends. I got a backup battery. I've got a padlock, a very light master lock combination padlock. You don't want a padlock with a key because then you're always tracking the key when you do actually have to lock your stuff up at a hostel or in some kind of locker. Much better to just have an all-encompassing lock with letters and numbers that you spin around. You really don't want to be screwing with the key and then wanting to figure out how to keep the key on you and how to hide it in a certain spot so it doesn't fall out of your wallet, or you're not always going to have a keychain. You don't want to put it on the keychain with your Airbnb keys, because then you're going to turn that back in and be like, oh, left my padlock key in Hungary and now I'm in Thailand or whatever. So that's something that you want to keep an eye out on. Also, as you're one bag traveling and you're packing your pack up, you want to make sure that your pack is somewhat waterproof. I wouldn't get too crazy about having a pack with one of those covers and all that. I don't do that. I just make sure that my material is an X-Pack-like ripstop nylon material that's fairly water resistant. Obviously, if you get caught out in a hurricane, torrential downpour, even those little covers aren't really going to save you because your shirt's going to get soaked. That's going to soak water into your pack. There's no waterproof pack aside from I think North Face makes one that's waterproof that you can put underwater, but those get pretty heavy when you get to waterproof material. That breathable material is actually lighter. So there's a few different packs out there. I will say don't skimp on your pack. A $30 pack or an $80 pack is not going to be the same as a $300 pack. The Air X pack, the Peak Design, there's some different packs out there that are all going to be $250 plus, but they are worth the money. If you order a couple on Amazon and you check them out and you send back the one you don't like, you'll understand if you start looking at $30, $40, $80 packs versus $300 packs. The zippers are waterproof on a more expensive pack. The zippers are stronger on a more expensive pack. If you're going on an indefinite one-bag travel trip like me, where you're just out here indefinitely traveling around, the last thing you want is for the zipper to break on your bag, because then what are you going to do? You're going to have to go buy some bag at some tourist luggage shop. The bag's going to be junk. You're going to be carrying a junk bag instead of a good bag. You don't want broken zippers. You want to spend the extra money. Look at Air. Look at some of the better brands. Don't skimp on your pack. And also, packs like footwear are subjective. They're unique. They're personal. Make sure that your pack is structured to the things that you're planning to carry. Make sure you have packing cubes for your clothes that can push the air out and you can get it in there better. Sometimes more smaller packing cubes can be better than the bigger packing cubes as well. Because like I talked about with the flexibility, having things be able to move around inside of the pack, that's important. Another thing that I'll definitely recommend as far as cleaning supplies, hygiene, get the laundry detergent sheets. They come in sheets. They look like a dryer sheet, but a little thicker. You can rip them in half. They're laundry detergent. I have a lot of peace of mind knowing that I've got 60 loads of laundry or more worth of detergent with me at all times, because it's one of those things. You might find a laundromat on the corner, but will there be detergent, or will the detergent be in a machine that requires a certain coin currency that you ain't got on you? I've had all this stuff happen. So keep that shit in mind. We'll talk more about this later. Yeah, peace.